Well, everyone, I figured I'd give it another try because after the first part, I was pretty exhausted. But but right now, I'm currently drinking water in between when I'm doing part two of the 1,000 subscriber special for HuskyDog88. Now we're gonna look at the Clifford VHS tapes. I also have two releases from the Clifford's Fun With series, even though I have not really watched the 1988 video series. I grew up with the John Ritter TV series from 2000. This is one of them, Clifford's Fun With Letters. Fully animated with original songs, approximate running time 30 minutes. The ABC Message Service. But I have heard that Brent Titcomb does the voice of Clifford in this video series, and he makes Clifford sound more like Mel Blanc in a way, instead of his normal John Ritter like self, which is kind of odd, if you know what I mean. Tape, sticker label, printed on the 13th week of 1993. Next up, the only other Clifford's Fun With video that I have, Clifford's Fun With Rhymes. The Rhyme Cat Rescue. Running time 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm drinking water during this part. After I was exhausted and all. Sticker label. Print date is the 41st week of 1996. So this is a much later printing. Alright. This next release I have, we get into the John Ritter series, the more familiar John Ritter series, with this promotional tape, Cleo's Fair Share. Released sometime, I believe, in 2000. Clifford aired on September 4th, 2000. This was one of John Ritter's final projects before he left 3 years later on September 11th, 2003. Runtime's 12 minutes. Got a little notification. This is the only tape of the John Ritter series that I have with a sticker label. and no print date, obviously. Okay, now we get into the more familiar VHS releases of Clifford the Big Red Dog from Artisan Entertainment. First one being Here Comes Clifford, released on February 20th, 2001. The episodes on this VHS include Little Clifford and Welcome to Birdwell Island, along with Cleo Comes to Town and A Fairy Tale. HuskyDog88 got this VHS when he won a pledge drive back in 2001. And for some reason, the copyright date reads 2000 on the back. But that is incorrect because it came out in February 2001. But at least in the label, it says copyright 2001 at the top. No print date, obviously. And this is one of the two VHS releases to use the Clifford the Big Red Dog logo with a square with a blue rectangle and a yellow bone reading Clifford the Big Red Dog on it. Scholastic Clifford the Big Red Dog on it with a yellow bone reading Scholastic. Next one is, of course, the 2001 VHS release of Clifford's Best Friends, also released February 20th, 2001. And this would also be this exact same VHS tape that Paul Hennessy would give Carrie for Christmas on the season 3 episode Clifford Visits 8 Simple Rules, in which the episodes would be My Best Friend, False Friends, A New Friend, and A Dog Who Cried Woof. Each VHS release is 45 minutes. It also says 2000 on the back, even though it was released in February 2001. Ink label, and for some reason it says the print date is the 47th week of 1998. That is very incorrect because this VHS was released in 2001, so it's probably a recycled tape because of that print date. Because this VHS was released in 2001, not 1998. And of course, Bridget Hennessy would get punished by Paul, and he forces her to watch Carrie's brand new Clifford VHS tape, that being this, as punishment for making fun of Clifford. All right. Next up, Fun with Clifford, which is a Kicks exclusive VHS release that also uses that old Clifford logo from Here Comes Clifford and Clifford's Best Friends VHS releases. And this contains the episodes Limelight, which is actually shortened to Limelight Fright, which is actually extended to Limelight Fright, but it's just called Limelight on the back cover for some reason, and Special Delivery. 22 minutes. Tape. This one actually has a print date. October 18th, 2001. Even though it still says 2000 on the back. And it even says 2000 on the tape. Unlike Here Comes Clifford and Clifford's Best Friends, which said 2001. All right. This next VHS release of Clifford that I have is Clifford Tries His Best. Now, beginning with this VHS, this shows a brand new Clifford the Big Red Dog logo with a big white bone. And it still has the small yellow bone reading Scholastic on there. And the episodes on this VHS include Dog Park. Oh my goodness, I do not like this episode because of Mr. Bleakman punishing Clifford and all the dog owners, and he even makes a threat saying that he does not allow dogs at the park. I mean, come on. Mr. Bleakman can be pretty grouchy, but him threatening to ban dogs from the park, that has gone way too far. Well, anyway, Dog Park, The Big Sleepover, and Birdie Makes Free, and Clifford's Doggy Reunion are the episodes on this VHS. Tape, no print date. Next up, I have the 2001 VHS release of Clifford's Schoolhouse, also released on July 24th, 2001, just like Clifford Tries His Best. Now, if you notice, one of the spines is a little torn, but this one is good. Right there. Anyway, the episodes on this VHS are Teacher's Pet, Nobody's Perfect, Clifford and the Beanstalk, and Get Well. Here's the tape. No print date. This is the last release to use the generic font used on Artisan Entertainment VHS releases in the label, because after this one, they use a special font for Clifford the Big Red Dog releases in the label after this one. And this tape and Clifford Tries His Best do say 2001 on the back. And beginning with this release, the Artisan feature presentation screen is completely silent. And it no longer shows the FamilyHomeEntertainment.com screen in the 1998 FHE logo on a black background. Whereas in episodes like in VHS releases like Clifford's Best Friends and Here Comes Clifford, yeah, and on VHS releases of Here Comes Clifford and Clifford's Best Friends, the feature presentation screen uses sound effects, whereas beginning with this one, it's completely silent. And whereas beginning with Clifford Tries His Best in Clifford's Schoolhouse VHS releases, it's completely silent. Next up, 2001 VHS release of Clifford Saves the Day. By the way, Clifford Tries His Best and Clifford Schoolhouse were also the last releases to use the title card on the front written in chalk. But beginning with this tape, the title was written in the Comic Sans MS font used for the particular show. It's released on November 20th, 2001. This is the oldest VHS tape of Clifford that I've owned, because I've had this tape since 2003. The episodes on this tape are Stormy Weather, Islander of the Year, Circus Stars, and Clifford on Parade. Now, Clifford on Parade, I like this episode, except for the fact that Emily, Elizabeth, and Charlie were fighting about the floats for the parade. But all that alone doesn't push it far from being a good episode. So it's a pretty amazing episode. It just could have done a little bit better without the fighting. Here's a tape for Clifford Saves the Day. And look, now it says Scholastic, Clifford the Big Red Dog in the label in American Typewriter Bold, and Clifford Saves the Day in Comic Sans MS, which would all be used in future Clifford the Big Red Dog VHS releases as well. No print date. Next up is Clifford's Fluffiest Friend Cleo, also released on November 20th, 2001. By the way, these two videos we're also the first to get a DVD release. The episodes on this VHS are Fluffed Up Cleo, Cleo's Fair Share, Friends Morning, Noon and Night, and Two's Company. Label, no print date. Next release would be the Canadian VHS release of Clifford's Fluffiest Friend Cleo, released by Alliance Atlantis. Because the Alliance Atlantis logo is used at the bottom, the FHE Kids, Scholastic, and Artisan logos were moved to the top. Interestingly enough, the running time on the back cover says 45 minutes, but on this tape it says 40 minutes. And yes, this has a different morning screen and the Alliance Atlantis logo before the Artisan Entertainment logo. Strangely, no feature presentation screen is used on this Canadian VHS release. Even though the American release that I showed you before this does show the feature presentation screen before the Artisan Home Entertainment logo. Next up, I've got I've got a VHS release of High Flying Fun, which was part to make compliments of Brock's Clifford Fruit Snacks. Now, the episodes on this VHS are The Big Fetch and Captain Birdwell's Treasure. And it says, this video, brought to you by your friends at Brock's, the makers of Clifford Fruit Snacks, is not available in stores. Approximately 22 minutes. I assume this VHS was released on around the same time Clifford Saves the Day and Clifford's Fluffiest Friend Cleo was released. Ink label. This one actually is a print date of September 12th, 2002. Next up, we move on to the 2002 releases, starting with Happy Birthday Clifford, which was released on January 15th, 2002, about 6 days before Cyber Chase premiered, and about at least a month, less than a month before Season 2 of Clifford the Big Red Dog premiered on PBS. However, it would not be until 2003 where we get to see Season 2 episodes on VHS and DVD. So, the episodes on this tape are still from Season 1 because of this. And they are The Best Party Ever, Clifford's Big Surprise, Potluck Party Pooper, and It's My Party. Running time is 45 minutes. It says 2001 on the back cover for some reason, even though this VHS was released in January 2002. And for some reason, the FHE Kids logo is way far lower in the label than it should be. Alright. Next up is Puppy Love, also released on January 15th, 2002. And the episodes on this VHS are T-Bone, Dog About Town, Clifford's Big Heart, Mimi's Back in Town, and The Best Gift. And it also says 2001 on the back cover, even though this VHS was released in January 2002. And once again, the FHE Kids logo is far lower in the label than it should be. So yeah. Next up is Clifford's Big Halloween, released on July 23rd, 2002, which is quite strange because it could have been released in October 2002, but instead it was pushed forward to July? That makes no sense. Why in the world would a Halloween video be released in July 2002, like July 23rd? Oh, it is what it is. The episodes on this VHS are Boo, Clifford's Carnival, Leaf of Absence, and Come Back Mac. And this one does correctly say 2002 on the back. This is a recycled tape from the Firm Tough Cardio mix, even though it still plays Clifford the Big Red Dog, Clifford's Big Halloween on the actual tape itself. Oh, this next Clifford VHS release is called Go T-Bone, released on July 23rd, 2002. This is also one of the last releases to use the 2001 Clifford the Big Red Dog logo with the big white bone and the small yellow bone reading Scholastic. However, I have come up with a a VHS release from November 2002 that would use this 2001 Clifford logo while also using season 2 episodes. So be on the lookout for that right after I show you Go T-Bone. The episodes on this VHS are Doing the Right Thing, Tough Enough, Ears Have It, and Saturday Morning. Here's the tape for Go T-Bone. All right. This next one is the 2002 Canadian VHS release. Basically, the packaging is the same, but the FHE Kids, Scholastic, and Artisan logos are moved to the top. Label, print date, no print date on this one. This one does say 45 minutes correctly on the label in addition to the back. Before we get into the 2003 releases, I came up with fan-made 2002 VHS releases with season 2 episodes, 2 of them. But I'll give you a hint. One of them has episodes that would later be released on DVD with the same title. Here's one of them. I came up with a 2002 VHS release of Growing Up with Clifford. This would have the 2001 Clifford Big Red Dog logo with the big white bone and the small yellow bone reading Scholastic. And it would say brand new, contains episodes from its second season for the first time ever. I even made a back cover for this, which is purple, light purple. And the episodes that would be on this VHS are the last 4 episodes from the 2006 DVD release of the same name. And they are When I Grow Up, Another Fine Mess, Fishing Lessons, and Baz Goes Down the Tubes. Now this next one And I would have the release date for Growing Up with Clifford VHS to be November 26th, 2002. This next one I made that would be released on November 26th, 2002, if it existed, would be called Clifford Helps Out. It also has the 2001 Clifford logo with the big white bone and the small yellow bone ring scholastic. And it also says, brand new, contains episodes from its second season for the first time ever. Now, the episodes for the VHS of Clifford Helps Out will be That's Snow Lie, Nothing to Fur But Fur Itself, which would also be on the 2006 DVD release of Growing Up with Clifford, while That's Snow Lie is from the DVD of Playtime of Clifford. So anyway, That's Snow Lie, Nothing to Fur But Fur Itself, and then the last two episodes, Jetta's Project and Clifford's Cookie Craving, would also be on the 2007 DVD release of Doghouse Adventures. All right, that settles. Now we get into the 2003 releases, which the 2003 releases are actually the first to contain season 2 episodes, since Growing Up with Clifford and Clifford Helps Out were fan-made. And as you can see here, they completely changed the artwork style for Clifford the Big Red Dog releases this time. You see here, they completely changed the artwork design for Clifford the Big Red Dog VHS and DVD releases beginning in 2003. Where instead of that big white bone with a tiny yellow bone ring scholastic, it instead has a yellow banner with bone-like ends going across it. And this has the season 2 episodes, Clifford the Pirate King, Princess Cleo, King Mac, and Flood of Imagination. This would be released on VHS on January 21st, 2003. This tape has a dark sticker label. No print date. This next VHS release would be called Be My Big Red Valentine, also released on January 21st, 2003. And the episodes on this VHS are Cleo's Valentine Surprise, Big Hearted T-Bone, Wedding Bell Blues, and Special T-Bone. And here's the tape for Be My Big Red Valentine. And it's got an ink label this time for Be My Big Red Valentine. this next VHS release I have is Look Out Clifford, released on July 22nd, 2003. And this goes back to using 4 episodes from Season 1, even though this is a 2003 VHS release when Season 2 was already released on VHS. And they include Clifford's Charm School, Best Paw Forward, Clifford's Hiccups, and an Itchy Patch. Tape, no print date. This next VHS I have here is called Big Fun in the Sun. In which the episodes on this VHS are Camping It Up. This has a mixture of episodes from both Season 1 and 2. The episodes on this DVD on this VHS are Camping It Up, Hooray for Cleo, Home is Where the Fun Is, and Lights Out. The only episode on this VHS that is from Season 1 is Home is Where the Fun Is. Everything else is from Season 2. And man, this last episode of Lights Out is absolute garbage. You know why? Because Cosmo's screaming and crying tantrums because of the power going off of Birdwell Island. He cries and throws a tantrum saying that he wants to watch silly fairy tales, when in reality, when the power goes out, there's nothing you can do about the situation. Baby Cosmo, you need to learn to be flexible for a change. That's why I do not like the episode Lights Out. Even worse than the dog park. Tape. Ink label. And this tape and Look Out Clifford were one of the last VHS releases to be released when John Ritter was still around. Because this VHS was also released on July 22nd, 2003, just like with Look Out Clifford. Alright, now we get into the only 2 VHS releases of Clifford that were released in 2004. Now we get into the releases that were released after John Ritter already left. The first one being Rock and Roll Clifford. This was released on February 17, 2004. The episodes on this VHS are Doghouse Rock, Fan Mail, Stage Struck, and Embarrassing Moments. These are all Season 2 episodes, by the way. And about Embarrassing Moments, I think that is one of the funniest episodes of Clifford the Big Red Dog that I have ever seen. Every single part in this episode is hilarious. From Baz ripping his pants, to Miss Carrington losing her wig, to Emily Elizabeth getting bubblegum stuck in her hair, to Jetta having a mustache, to Clifford getting his nose stuck in a trash can. That is very hilarious. And it definitely is a good episode, and much better than Lights Out, which aired later in the season. Label. All right. Next up is the 2004 VHS release of Team Clifford. Also released on February 17, 2004, being one of the last releases to use the 2003 Clifford the Big Red Dog logo and style artwork. And also the last one to use the Artisan Home Entertainment logo on the back before Lionsgate Home Entertainment took over distribution. The episodes on this VHS are a mixture of episodes from Season 1 and Season 2. They are The Great Race, Basketball Stories, Shortchanged, and Lucky Charm. The Great Race and Shortchanged are from Season 1, while Basketball Stories and Lucky Charm are Season 2 episodes. And for some reason, the episodes are listed out of order. After The Great Race, Shortchanged is actually the next episode. Then, after Shortchanged, that's when Basketball Stories comes. And then Lucky Charm is the last episode. Label. Next, we get into 2 out of the 3 2005 VHS releases. The last one is extremely rare, but I do have it on DVD. Here's one of them. Everyone Loves Clifford. Released on VHS February 1st, 2005. They changed the artwork again. It's back to using the big yellow bone reading Clifford the Big Red Dog, except it does not have a small yellow bone reading Scholastic. So it's basically a revival of the 2001 logo without the word Scholastic on it. The episodes on this VHS are Jettis Tall Tale, Everyone Loves Clifford, Clifford Grows Up, and Cyber Puppy Problems. Jettis Tall Tale is from Season 1, while the rest of those episodes are from Season 2. You see over there? That's when Lionsgate Home Entertainment takes over distribution in place of Artisan. Interestingly enough, it has the old label style from the 2001 to 2004 releases, even though it's a 2005 release. Label. And the last VHS release I have It is a 2005 VHS release of Good Friends, Good Times. Episodes on this VHS are A Friend in Need, Stinky Friends, Jetta's Friend, and Friends Forever. All of these episodes are from Season 2 on this VHS. Label, once again, same old color art. The tape is not in good condition, but I popped this tape in. It still plays just fine, despite that hole. Alright, that pretty much wraps up part 2 of the 1,000 subscribers special for HuskyDog88. Stay tuned for part 3, which will be coming next.